Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen man, in the world of American icons, 57 T-Bird, done deal. Take the emblems off this car, take it for a drive down the street, pull up anywhere, and everyone will know right away it's a T-Bird. There's no mistaking it. Now keep in mind too, that this is the era of those kind of really cool sporty cars. The Corvette had just come out during that time, during the 50s. And the cars before were very square and boxy and what have you. And then these come into play, like the 55 T-Bird when it was launched. Super, super sexy. Throw in collectability. And collectability means to me, like how authentic is it? How few were built? What are some of the great features and options of it? And that determines collectability as a car gets more and more valuable over time. So for instance, like a car like this. This car came from the factory as a Dusk Rose car. Everybody calls it a pink T-Bird, but it's called Dusk Rose. It's just an iconic, cool piece of history as you roll around. This one here also happens to have two tops. Most people don't know, but the convertible top was not standard on a T-Bird. Only the hard top was standard. You could delete the hard top if you didn't want one at all. I don't know why you wouldn't, and then this one here happens to have both the soft top and the hard top and the special color, and it's restored, and it drives wonderfully, and it has power steering, and it has some nice features in it that you normally wouldn't get in a car. But anyway, we just finished painting this car, and it came out, which I think is gorgeous, color correct and everything. We just replaced a lot of the emblems. I broke an emblem on the other side. The other emblem will be here tomorrow, but I didn't have time to get it on before I did the video, so I'm just calling myself out. I broke it myself, whatever. Anyway, come on over, I'll show you this right here. We'll start with the paint, because I like to, just a little dust right there. I'd like you to be able to see, you see how you can see the time like perfectly, like you know exactly what time it is. Pictures don't give you that kind of clarity. Video does. Get somebody to give you a video on a car. Get them to give you a 1-year warranty on the car. Get them to give you free enclosed shipping on the car. Then you can start to compare the same car here. Ask them for $5,000 or $6,000 worth of receipts in part of the recent restoration of the car. Ask them if the car has been restored in the past. Do you have that kind of stuff? Ask them if this is the way the car rolled off the showroom floor. Yes, it is. Also, you can ask them too, do they have the original window sticker? We have the original window sticker for this car too. We have a great documentation folder of it, and it's just awesome. All right, so here again, we're with the wide whites with the painted wheels like they're supposed to be, okay? These happen to have radial tires on them, which is really a nice feature. I know it sounds crazy, but the difference between driving on the original bias ply tires and the radial tires is 50% better drivability. This drives so nice down the road. New chrome and stainless, new emblems, and we're going to get under the hood here in just a second and look at some of the detail there. But let's keep walking around for a second. This is really cool because this is part of the ventilation system. It's a styling feature, you know, as you go the fender vents there and this right here, but you open a piece inside and lets fresh air in the cabin right down along your feet there. How nice is that, right? Where did that nice feature go to? Fender skirts. Now listen, you can have two totally different looks on these cars. You take the fender skirts off and the car looks very different. And they're very easy to take off. They have bags in the trunk for them, and you can take them off and have two completely different cars. All right, so we'll keep walking around for a second. Again, this is the era of the jet age, right? This is the 57 T-Bird. So you got some fins. You have the jet engine look right here. The exhaust comes out the bumper like it's supposed to. And it's all detailed with the new emblems, gaskets, all that stuff. I didn't put anything old back on the car when we repainted it because it was already restored underneath. It was just 15-year-old paint. And it was just very average. I could have saved a couple areas, but by the time I saved some areas with painting the car, it was worth it just to do the whole car, and I think you'll appreciate that as well. All right, let's take a peek under the hood. Can you say, let's take a peek under her hood and be socially acceptable? I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna say it anyway. Let's take a peek under her hood. All right. Okay, so take a minute here and let's look around at some important things. Now, a lot of stuff that we forget to ask about. For instance, this has power brakes. Power brakes are not standard. Today's car has power brakes, power steering, like all those features. These cars did not come with any of those things. They came with an engine, and that was it. This car has power brakes. This car has power steering, which is optional. This has the big 312 V8 in it with a lot more power. We've rebuilt the carburetor as well. We drained out all the old fuel. It had been sitting for a little while, and then we detailed the engine compartment in here, which I think looks really nice. It's got the correct clamps in certain places. It's got the right hoses. You can see the suspension's been detailed, and it's all kind of new. And this just runs and drives down the road beautifully. You could, let me tell you what, man, at the end of the day, because this car is so cool, you could take it to a car show, throw the hood up, everyone will love it, or you could drive it to dinner. Pull it up, you know where they're going to park this car. They're going to park this car out front and shove the Porsche or the Ferrari around the side, because everybody knows this to be an American icon, and it's just a cool, cool piece. The unfortunate thing is we ship a lot of these cars all over the world. But, you know, I'm on the fence about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but can you imagine this car driving around Europe in some other country, or Australia or New Zealand, how cool this thing must look going down the road. People love American cars. I can't blame them, man, because this is pretty cool style. It really is. So if we can help it get to Europe, great. If you want to keep it locally, we'll do that as well. All right, let's take a peek in the trunk. And listen, the little detail stuff is why you buy a car from us. Check it out. Spare tire covers on there. The jack is in there. The carpeting is in there. This has a correct coating inside the trunk lid. Everything's all painted and detailed in there. New emblems, bezels, bumpers, trim, things like that. It just makes for a great experience. This is a turnkey car. I'm expecting that you get in the car and go for a drive. You know, this car shows up at your house. I don't expect you to take it to your mechanic, take it to get an oil change and all those things. I've already done all that stuff. All you need to do is take these right here, put them in, and take wherever it is you want to go and go for a drive. All right, let's sit inside here and see what all the ruckus is about. Why, this is still one great classic interior. So here's something cool too, that the fact that the dome light still works in here. I call it a dome light, but it's really a dash light because this doesn't have a dome. Still works. It's pretty amazing. All the original stuff in here. This is an upgraded sound system here. We can put the stock radio back in if you'd like, and then we could put a nice digital sound system with an iPod, satellite radio, things like that in the glove box and kind of hide it for you so you can enjoy that. Check out all the gauges here. This is really cool, man. They are very proud of the performance of these cars. 140 mile an hour speedometer, tachometer as well built in, all standard, clock, temp, fuel, right? And just a really nice interior as well. It seats 3 people comfortably in here, and it's actually kind of weather friendly. You know, with the soft top that it comes with, it's easy to throw the top off if you get caught in the rain. If you like to drive in the wintertime and you want to put the hard top on, it comes with that too, with the famous porthole on the side. It's a pretty cool piece. Make sure we show you that as well. This is important that a lot of people don't know about T-Birds, is when the car's in park, it won't start. All T-Birds are that way. And a lot of times people get a T-Bird and they go, oh man, my car won't start. All T-Birds only start at neutral. A little tidbit for Justin, because Justin's learned a little bit something about cars too. How do you like me now? I wanted to show this with the top up as well because it still looks great. Keep in mind it matches the white interior, the white top, the wide whites on there. It just fits so perfect color-wise. Think about kitchens and things like that, man. If you grew up in this era, these were the colors of the time. How many times you moved into a house later on and had like pink tile countertop or pink backsplash or something like that with white trim? This was so characteristic of the 50s, and colors kind of dictate the style as well. And this style has weathered on dramatically. Just done a great job, and it really says what year this car is. And like I said, man, you could take off all the emblems of this car and everyone will know exactly what it is. All right, check this out. It's not often you get things like this. One's a copy, one's kind of the original. So check this out here for a second. This is the original invoice to the dealer for the T-Bird. So here's the T-Bird. The hard top, which we talked about, was no charge, of course, because it came standard. Then the color, the engine dress kit, which is the valve covers and the chrome air cleaner and things like that. The wiper upgrade, the automatic transmission. It was a lot of money. It was $150. And that may not sound like a lot of money, but the whole car was less than $4,000. But $4,000 was a lot of money for a car in 1957, don't forget, especially for a sports car that didn't seat an entire family. And then here you got some cool stuff here as well. You got your power brakes and steering we talked about. The special radio that was in it. It does a heater and defroster, which was not standard again on those cars. Okay, and it's just cool to have this kind of documentation for a 60 or 70-year-old car. Comes with an owner's manual as well. I can't tell for sure whether it's the original one. It looks really nice shape, so I'd almost say that it's probably not, but the car was in pretty good shape, so I didn't see anything that said otherwise, that it was reprinted or whatever, but it says copyright 1956. Not really sure. Cool piece, huh? All right, as we close up the video on this car, listen, man, we talked about collectability early on in the video. Pink T-Bird. They are iconic. They are to continue to be the most sought after cars. They sell for the most money. And the reason why is because so few are built and everybody's into the pink ribbon. This just continues to send out a great message about just a different world and a different time and things like that. 57 T-Bird, the last of its style. The last year this car was built like this. 2 tops, power steering, power brakes, wide whites. Just gorgeous, man. I don't need to say any more. Listen, man, if you could ever find a way to get a really cool car in your life, call us 301-816-1000. We'll find a way to get this 57 T-Bird in your garage.